Welcome back to Advent of Code. Today we're working on day 20 and I just want to thank you so much for all the support I've get on this series. Don't forget to drop a like before we get started. It really helps. So, day 20, this is definitely a hard problem today. We have some tiles like that. And we know that one edge of the tile, so either the top edge or the bottom edge or one of the right or left edge is matching with another edge. I don't know if there's an example here. Yeah, there is. For example, this one, we see that this is exactly the same as this one. So this is perfect. We understand that we need to make this tile, rotate these tiles or flip them either vertically or horizontally, and we need to find matching tiles so that we can make a full picture here. And then I guess we're going to need to remove these duplicate edges here and there and this first edge. Anyway, in order to do that, we're going to need to go slow. And first of all, I'm going to do the parsing. We have these here. So what we need to do is we need to split on the double line return. Let me also get, day 20 here. We need to split on the double line return so that we get this information in each of our lines here. Then lines, how do we do that? We're gonna need to parse that. What do? We parse this number first. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna map line, and here we need to const id is equal line dot exec. Wait, this is the opposite. Here we need a number that we get from the line, and this is going to be this number. That's going to be the ID of the tile. It's very important because in the end we need to use this ID, and then we need to get all of this. So what we're going to do here, we're going to say line dot split with line return again. So here const L, it's going to be lines, and here we can use L of 0 because we know that this ID is happening in the first line, and we can return an object here which is the ID and then the tile. I think for the tile, so what we're going to do is we're going to say L.shift so that we get rid of the first of this. And here we can use L, and that should give us something relatively nice. So it's very important to do the correct parsing because just because it is we are going to base everything on top of what we've parsed. So if you do something bad like that, then of course you're going to have a hard time in the next stage. Oh yeah, for sure, one thing that's very important is that we need to take this input I forgot this part, and paste it here so that we have some input to work with. And now we have something relatively good. I think here we need to take the first element of the array. Yeah, that's good. And we're going to pass int as well, because, you know, why not? So if you were to do that in something with user input, this is very dangerous here because we assume there's always a match on the regexp. So yeah, of course, this is just code that works for Advent of Code. That's it. The tile here is looking nice as well. We have like the dots and the hashes. One thing we want to do maybe is to have you know, like No, I think that's good. What we could do is instead of having a list of strings, we could have a list of arrays of characters, but I think it's good to have a list of strings. So now, what we're going to do, we know we can rotate these tiles, and we need to find a match between, let's say, this one and this one, for example. We need to find matches. So we know that we only care about the edges. So that's one thing what we're going to do. First of all, we're going to extract the edges. So I'm going to create a function to extract edges from a tile. And there are 4 edges. First of all, let's create a result here array. I like to create a result array. That's just simple. We want to get the first line, the first string is going to be part of the result. So I'm going to put that here. We know that the last line as well is going to be part of the result. So basically this edge and this edge is going to be part of the end results. So here this is tile.length -1. And now we need to get this right edge here and this left edge here. So in order to do that, we need to do tile.map. And here we need x of 0. This is going to give us the left edge here. And then we need to do something similar for the right edge. Here this is going to be x.length -1. And we're going to try to do that with one random tile. So here we're going to log lines of 0. Oh, let's rename here. Instead of lines, now this is a list of tiles. So we're going to be using the right words, you know. And here we're going to log the extract edges of tile 0. So there is an issue, which is fine. Oh yes. Here we are expecting just the tile here. So here tiles.tile. Maybe we'll rename that to contents. This is the contents of the tile. So here this is the tile, and here we need to return something. We need to return result. And now let's see. We're gonna double check that it's doing the right thing. So this would be the first tile. Oh, we have an issue here. We should have a string here instead of an array of characters. So let's fix that right away. Here we have an array. We need to join this array like that. It enables us to make an array of characters into just a string. Okay, so those are like the 4 edges. So this is the top edge of the tile. This is the bottom edge of the tile. Now this should be the left edge. So dot hash hash dot. This is oh wait dot hash 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 dot hash dot. So yeah, this is the correct edge. And this one, this is dot hash. Wait, dot hash hash dot hash. We are good. This is like a test case that we manually checked. So yeah, of course, if you're doing that, if you're doing production code, it's better to write test case than do what I'm doing here manually. But here we are here to have some fun, you know. So now we have our edges, but we forgot one thing, which is that there is both rotation and flipping that can happen. And if you rotate this edge, so this tile, if you rotate this tile twice, the bottom edge is going to be the reverse of this. So basically we know that, oh wait, one more thing. If we are flipping this vertically, this is going to be the same edge here. But if we are flipping this tile horizontally, this is going to be, the top edge is going to be the reverse of this string. So basically, we check all of the cases and we end up realizing that you only have this option or the reverse of this option that is feasible for the top edge. I mean for this edge. And if you rotate, reverse anyway, there are two options. There is just tile 0 or tile 0 dot reverse. Those are the two options. So now what we need to do is we need to say results dot so we need to go through each of these elements here. Okay, that's how we're gonna do. We're gonna concat and here we're gonna do results.map and edge here, and here we're gonna say edge.reverse. So basically we have, if we run this, this did not work. How do you reverse a string in JavaScript? String reverse mdn. Array.reverse. Damn it. So does that mean, let me double check that on the web. Okay, I just did a quick check on the web. Basically we can, the best option is going to be for us to use this reverse thing. So we're going to say reverse string here, string. We're going to need to do string dot split with an empty string so that we get an array of characters. Now we can use reverse, and then we need to use join. So basically we're going to convert the string into an array, we're going to reverse the array, and then we're going to convert the array of characters back into a string. That's going to be the only way in JavaScript. I mean, there are more ways if you use a for loop or something like that, but I think that's a very simple way to do it, and we're going to be using that. So now what we have in our edges, we have one edge and its reverse, another edge and its reverse, third edge it's reversed, yes that's correct, and last edge and its reverse. So yeah, this is all we need. This is all of the possible edges that you need to find for a specific tile. So it doesn't matter how many rotation, how many flip, vertical, horizontal, whatever, this is gonna be it. This is gonna be our all of the possible edges. Now we need to make this match with all of the edges of all of the tiles. So I think here we're gonna do this right away in here. Here we're gonna say edges, and we're gonna say extract edges of L. So basically here, if we say tiles of 0, we have now an object that contains the ID, the content of the object, and the edges of the object. So I think now we just need to go through each tiles, check for each edge if there is another tile that is similar to it. And then we're going to need to record in this object that there is a link between the two tiles. So I'm not sure exactly how we're going to store this information, but you know what? We're going to try this right now. So I'm going to do a double for loop. So we're going to do we're going to iterate through each tiles, and we're going to do another for loop with j. We're going to still iterate in the tiles, but j is going to start at I plus 1. The reason we want to do that is we want to make sure we don't check if a tile has the same edge of itself with itself. So that's why, and also we don't, if we checked if these edges are matching the tiles of a tile B, we don't want to check if B is matching A because we already know the answer. So yeah, this is very important. So here, that's going to be interesting. We're going to need to check all of the matches here. So here this is the tile 1 and here this is tile 2. And here we need to check how many edges are matching. So this is going to be a double for loop again. Or we can create a function, const matches, matching tiles between tile 1 and tile 2. You know what, it's good sometimes to have some functions because otherwise your code can be like a mess of for loops. So here this is going to be a double for loop from I between tile 1 dot edges. So here this is going to be edge 1 and another for loop with j tile 2 dot edges. And here this is edge 2. And here we check if edge 1 is equal to edge 2. In that case, const matches that push edge 1. Because this is the same, so we're going to say, okay, this is an edge that is in common between those two tiles. Return matches. So one thing that I want to check now, I have something that I'm not sure about. Like, is a tile, an edge, always matching just one other edge, or could there be multiple matches? So we need to check that. So we're going to say if matches.length is above 1, throw new error, multiple matches. And doing this will help us understand if we have very complex. Oh, we have very complex stuff. No. You know what? In that case, we should be sharing more about the context. So here we should be logging tile 1, tile 2 matches. Oh, one thing that's important. I believe those two are the same but in reverse. So we just need to say, for now, we're just gonna say if this is not 2, then we display that. Oh. If this is not 0 and not 2, in that case, we say, okay, there is a problem. Okay, so that's good. It means that one tile, so there is no several matches. It means that this one will either match with 0 other edges or only one other edge. That's gonna be key. So now we need to fix this stupid thing about okay, we need to say, actually here we can just return edge 1. We can remove the matches because we know that there is always either 1 or 0 matches. Because match. So here we need to say, so here we're gonna say matches. I'm going to create an array. We're going to say tile1.matches.push. I'm going to say id tile2.id and edge match. Oh, here we need to check if match. So what we're going to say, there is a match from tile 1 to tile 2, and there is a match from tile 2 to tile 1. And now what I would like to see, I would like to just see the full tiles object. Tiles, because we've been coding, but we don't, we're not super clear on this data structure here. So, matches in. So here we're gonna map that, and we are only gonna display let's just say tile. So yeah, we want to really go slow. This is gonna be key. So I'm gonna do that now. Tile.id and tile.matches. So here, this is gonna be displaying a visualization of our data structure. So how many tiles do we have here? 1, 2, wait. There's an easier way to count the tiles here is to search for the word tile. Here there are 9 matches, so there are 9 tiles. Here we see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is good. We have all of our 9 tiles. We see that there can be 3 matches, 2 matches, 2 matches, and 2 matches. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 edges that have only 2 matches. So this is really good, because if you have 9 tiles, you know that this is a 3 by 3 grid. Let's write a little comment here. Basically, if you have 9 tiles, you know that this is something like xxx, xxx, xxx. And this one just have, at the top left, just has 2 edges. So each one at the corner has only 2 edges. So we're going to be using that, because what we need now, we need to find the 4 corners, and we need to multiply the IDs of the 4 corners. So here we could be assembling the image correctly. Maybe we need that in part 2, I don't know, but I think I'm just going to do a shortcut and not do that right now. So now what we're going to be doing, we're going to be doing tiles.filter, and we need to make sure that x.edges.length is equal to 2. And we're just going to map that to x.id. And this is going to be constant IDs part 1. And let's log that IDs part 1. I'm going to remove everything else here for now, because we want to debug that. Oh, no. Matches. It's not edges, it's matches. Sorry. Okay, we have 4 IDs. Are they the right IDs? Yes, this is the right one. This is the right one. Yes, so this is the right one. So we just need to do, you know what? I like to do like this little hack, which is, I could be using reduce, but because it's a fun challenge, I'm going to show you something else. We're going to do eval, and we're going to be joining these IDs with a star. So basically this is going to join the ID with a multiplication sign, and eval is going to do the multiplication. So this is like a quick way to multiply several numbers together. It's very hacky, so I don't recommend that. I don't recommend using that in production, but here we have the correct solution. So we're just going to be doing the same with the puzzle inputs now. I feel a bit guilty because we have not made the image look nice. We just have made a shortcut. But you know what? I think it's fine. And at least we've got our first gold star, which is great news. Okay, so I've spent a bunch of time trying to figure out part 2, but I think at some point it is wise to just call it a day, and I think I'm happy to say, I'm a bit sad to say that I lost it. I didn't make it, but yeah, I tried, and there was some bad bug that prevented me from doing it. Thank you very much for today. That was a bit weird, but hopefully you'll still like part 1. Thank you. Bye bye.